Okay, hello children. In the previous video, we studied what is a flower and we saw the structure of a typical bisexual flower. Okay, now we are going to start with a general description of the floral parts. I have already told you that the four floral parts, calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium, are arranged on the thalamus in four different whorls. Okay, so we are going to study those four floral parts in detail over here in the general description of floral parts. Okay, to start with, the outermost or the first whorl of the flower, it is called as the calyx. Okay, so we are going to study the details of the calyx with the help of the diagram of flower. Okay, so here we are having the calyx. Each member of the calyx is called as sepal, right? The number of calyx differs from one plant to another plant, but generally it is 5 in number. Okay. Now, one more thing to tell you over here. See, if the sepals or calyx members are free from each other, then that condition is called as polysepalous condition. And if the sepals are fused together to form a cup-like structure or a bell-like structure, then it is called as gamosepalous condition. Okay, so we are having the polysepalous condition where the members are free from each other, and gamosepalous condition where they are fused together. One more thing to tell you, in case of hibiscus plant, okay, just below the calyx, there are leafy structures present which are called as epicalyx. Okay, epicalyx, right? And it is the characteristic of only the hibiscus family. It will not be seen in other plants. Okay, so epicalyx. So what we have studied over here, the polysepalous condition, gamosepalous condition, and about the epicalyx, right? Now, the epicalyx may remain on the flower, then it is called on the sorry the epicalyx may remain even after the fruit is formed. In that condition, it is called as persistent calyx. Okay, but generally it falls off, right? You must have seen the brinjal. Okay, the green color cap that you see, it is a persistent calyx of the brinjal, right? Next thing, these sepals are generally green in color, as you can see in the diagram, but sometimes the sepals may be of some different color. They may be brightly colored. Okay, in that condition, the sepals are called as petaloid sepals. What are they called as? Yes, petaloid sepals, and the example is gulmohar, where the sepals are red in color. Fine. Now we go to the functions of the sepals. The first function of the sepal is it protects the flower in the bud condition. And since it is green in color, its secondary function is to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Understood? So this is all about the calyx and sepals, right? The first whorl of the flower, right? See, they are generally green in color. They protect the flower in bud condition. If they are free, they are called as polysepalous. If they are fused, they are called as gamosepalous. An epicalyx condition is seen in the hibiscus family. Now we go to the second whorl of the flower, that is the corolla. Okay, so second whorl of the flower is called as corolla, right? We are going to study the different characteristics of the corolla with the help of the same flower diagram. So here the orange color structure which you can see there, that is corolla. Each member of corolla is called as petal. Now you must have understood what I am talking about. Okay, so corolla means petals. Okay, now like the calyx, the corolla members may be more or less than 5, but generally they are 5. Second thing, these corolla members may be in single row, okay, single whorl, or they may be in more than one single whorl. Consider the example of hibiscus. The petals are arranged in one whorl, whereas in rose the petals are arranged in many whorls. Okay, so it depends from plant to plant how many whorls of petals will be there in the flower. Okay, like the calyx, even the petals may be free or they may be fused. If the petals are free, the condition is called as polypetalis, and if the petals are fused, then the condition is called as gamopetalis. Remember, in case of calyx, the terms were polysepalous, gamosepalous, and in case of corolla, the terms are polypetalis and gamopetalis. Two different things. Okay, remember. Fine. Yeah. Then we come to the function of the petals. Okay, since the petals are brightly colored, their main function is to attract the insects for the process of pollination. Okay, second function of the petals is to protect the male reproductive organ and female reproductive organ when they are in the bud condition and in the developing condition. That time the petals will be protecting them, right? So these are the two functions of the petals. So what we have studied under the corolla part, okay, we have studied that corolla members are called as petals. Generally they are brightly colored and therefore they attract the insects for the process of pollination. If the petals are free, the condition is called as polypetalis. If the petals are fused, it is called as gamopetalis, right? So that is about the second whorl. And as discussed earlier, you should remember that calyx and corolla are called as non-essential whorls of the flower because they are helping whorls. They are not directly involved in the process of reproduction, but they help in the process of reproduction. For example, the calyx will be protecting the androecium and gynoecium when they are in bud condition, or the petals will be attracting the insects for the process of pollination, which is important for reproduction. Okay, so they are helping hands to the flower, but they are called as non-essential whorls because they are not directly involved in the process of reproduction. Understood, children? So we have discussed two whorls of the flower, the calyx outermost whorl and the corolla second whorl. Fine.